Morning, everybody. Happy April Fool's Day, April 1st. As you can see, I'm back in the camper. I spent 3 days on the trail starting Tuesday. I got off yesterday. I'll get to that in a minute. I just wanted to shout out to some people that I'm grateful for today. First one and foremost is Patty, who's helped me get as far as I have on the trail. There's been a lot of setbacks and stuff, so she get a big shout out to Patsy. Thank you, Pat. Love you. And then Sam and Ava, got a shout out to them for taking care of the pups and watching the house and getting the mail and all that stuff. Grateful for you guys for doing that. Thank you. Shout out to Juan and Michelle for encouraging, loving, supportive. Appreciate that. Thank you. Grateful for the Jacks, Jocelyn, Patrick, Carter, Sam, and Julia. Almost forgot one name. For watching over our house and being great neighbors. So thank you for that. Let's see, and just the people that have reached out from family and friends that are keeps being supportive and stuff. So anyway, on to the issues. So I got back on the trail after Tuesday after being off a week with my infection and stuff, my toe infection and stuff, which I'm going to show you now. It's getting actually pretty decent. So there it is. The nail can come off. There's the nail. I keep it on for protection, but it's really looking good and it hasn't hurt one bit. So see, good as new. It's a little crooked. Oh yeah, see? Perfect. So there's that. My foot is good. The new shoes seem to done I got no hot spots over the 3 days. The issue that came up was my right knee. That IT band, I assume, is what's going on with it. From day one, I got on Tuesday, it started hurting right away. It took a lot just to get to, I think I did 10 miles that day. It was pretty sore at the end of the day. Woke me up during the night, being painful and stuff. Been doing my stretches and stuff for it, but it just didn't seem to be coming out. The next day was a little better. Did my stretches again, but it still ended up hurting. I did like 13 miles that day, I believe. So then I texted, oops, I lost my nail somewhere. Sorry. I texted Patty and said, pick me up yesterday, Thursday. I just got to get it checked. It just seems to be getting worse. Walking yesterday was very painful from the start. So I think it's just an IT band. I don't know if it's a insert for my shoe or if I need to work on strengthening something, but I need to get it taken care of or it's gonna kind of end my hike. So gonna call a doc, see if I can have a video appointment with her to figure out what I need to do. So there's that. So I'm off the trail. I don't know how long. I'll try to keep you updated with that. So, but I do want to say that even though I've had those issues, I've had some really good highlights. The people out on the trail, I met a couple from Germany, a couple from Vermont, a guy, Max. I had met him before I got off with my infection and broken toe. He, young guy from Austin, Texas. He got off the same day I did with my broken toe and infection, but he had a kidney issue and had to go to the hospital, and and he got back on the same day, so it was fun to reconnect with him. And man, that kid can walk. He's fast. Um, so yeah, I got to spend some time with him. The German couple where we were sitting at a water cache talking, I pulled out my squeezable peanut butter. She's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Peanut butter." She goes, "Oh, you Americans and that peanut butter." And then the guy next to me pulled out his peanut butter. He's like, "You gotta have it." So that was kind of neat. They were from Germany. We talked a little bit. She actually spent a year in as an au pair in Minneapolis, so she knew Minnesota. She said she really liked it there, so that was cool. Yeah, so then the water system, I did post on Facebook a picture of the one water because what I didn't share was the one before that. I needed water, and there was just like 30 feet off up the side of a hill. There was a hole dug, and it was like a little spring. I wish I would have took a picture of it, but man, it smelled like sewage, but it was nice, clear, cold water. I don't know if something died in it or what, but it was good water. But that's the kind of stuff you run into out there. That water cistern that or the water tanks that I did post a picture of. There was a just down the road from it. This guy, they call it Mike's Place, and you're supposed to be able to go there and camp out and get a shower and order pizza and beer. But it's just like this old hippie's house back in the middle of nowhere. A bunch of old cars sitting around and stuff. But he wasn't there. It didn't really bother me. A couple of people were pretty down that they wanted to order pizza and stuff. So anyway, that was that. And then so the last day I had 5.5 miles to hike to get to a road that took me into Anza. And so I hiked that, and then I got on this old dirt road. They call it Thule Truck Canyon Road, and it was about 3.5 miles to one of the main roads. That walk wasn't real bad. It was fairly flat. It was up and down, but it did okay. But I got out onto the main road, and it was from the main road to where I told Patty I'd meet her was 9.5 miles. So I think I got to mile about 8.5, and all of a sudden all these sheriffs started going by. The first one was like a Suburban with a dump trailer like the roofers use, hydraulic. It was a fairly good sized trailer, and then another car, SUV, sheriff's SUV behind him, and they went by, and then two more went by, and then two more, and then two more came up, and the seventh one, he stopped, pulled over. He's like, "Are you a PCT hiker?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." I said, "I'm getting off the trail and hiking into town, meet my wife." I said, "I'm having knee problems." He's like, "Great." He said, "I'll give you a ride," but he said, "You have to ride in the back." I'm like, "Well, I've been in back of law enforcement vehicles before, and it's nice to know I can get out this time." So he gave me a ride, and on the way back we were talking. He said his wife was gonna, they live right in Anza there, that she was gonna do a big section of it from Warner Springs up to Idlewild starting next week after they had the spring break or something. So we talked about that. And then he must have known I was curious. He said, "You're probably wondering what all we're doing." So there was 8 cop cars, and they had just been to a pod field on some public land that they cut down and threw in that trailer. He said it causes a lot of issues, people stealing it, and all kinds of different crimes come out of it. And he said they use water they're not supposed to, and all this. And he was driving kind of fast, and I didn't say anything, but he's like, "Yeah, we're in a hurry because there's a fire at one of the growers' houses that, so we don't catch them, they'll wire up all their electric around the meter, so it's their bills don't go up, so they don't get caught." Well, they don't do it right, and they use too small a wire or something, and it causes fires. He said it happens a lot, but they were going to this fire at this pot grower's house because the electric. So he was kind of in a hurry to get me dropped off, but he dropped me right off at the restaurant where I was meeting Patty, and I got out of the car, shook his hand, said thank you. He wished me luck. Um, Great guy. Glad he did it. Kind of brought up memories riding in the back of the back of a police car. But it was nice to walk away and shake his hand and thank him. So that was neat. So then I go in the restaurant, order a pop, waiting for Patty. Talked to the cashier a little bit, sat down. I had my pack with me, and the guy comes up. He goes, "You PCT hiker?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm trying to be, but I got off because of my knee." He's like, "You're from Minnesota?" I'm like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" He's like, "I'm from St. Paul, or I grew up in St. Paul." He said he'd been out there on and off since '97. He said the last bunch of years he'd been there permanently. But so he was telling me all the good things hikers could do in the area and go, and gave me some good information about the trail and stuff. So that was kind of neat. I've seen a lot of Minnesota people out here. That's kind of cool. So the other thing grateful out there was I had some really awesome scenery out there. I posted, I don't know if I can post single pictures to YouTube, but waking up in the morning and see the clouds blow you and see, the top of the mountain sticking up through them was awesome. The other night I had to go to the bathroom when I got up in the middle of the night, and the stars are so bright, and it reminded me of the Boundary Waters, how clear and how many stars there are. How sometimes you forget that when you live in a town, but so that was really neat to see. I never thought I'd like the desert section as much as I do, but it's really coming alive. The flowers are coming up. One guy I was talking to that was a local said, yeah, he said wait till mid-April. He said the hills and stuff just will be awash in color. So hopefully I get back and see some of that. But it was really awesome. So those are probably the main highlights. So I did get a question asked to me of what have I thought. Oh, by the way, I got off at mile 137.5, I believe, at Tule Springs, and then I walked, which was like 5.5 for that day, and then 3.5 or 4.5 till the sheriff picked me up. So not quite a 10-mile day, but not all of it on trail either. But anyway, they asked if it was harder or easier than I thought, and even with my foot issues, infection, broken toe, bad knee, in a lot of ways it's easier than I thought. There's a few things that are probably more difficult, but overall I think it is, and maybe I just didn't have expectations, but I think it's, in a way, it's easier. So. And then I was asked if I had any epiphanies on the trail. And I gotta say, the last day, yesterday, when I was hiking, it just came to me that I should be a better husband and a better person. And that, well, what that means, a lot of different things. I guess I can just work on being a better person. I've been doing a lot of praying for different people and stuff, and I'm still working on my meditation skills and listening for my higher power's will for me, but that's quiet my head down and not focus on my knee and stuff. So anyway, the plan is to get a hold of a doctor and see what I got to do so I don't have to keep getting off the trail with this knee issue. So not real great news, but it is what it is. That'll give me time to color in my favorite coloring book, Pooping Animals. Thanks, Graham Park, fellas. Anyway, life is good. I gotta say that I feel really blessed to be on this trip, even though I'm not on the trail. Not a lot of people probably have the option to do what I'm doing, so grateful for that today. Grateful for all you guys, all your support. Peace out. Love you guys.